I've been a believer all my life, but I've also been a science teacher for 36 years. And during that time, I have had people try to convince me that science and faith are in direct conflict with each other. And because of that, I took a deep dive several years ago into what evolution teaches and what creation science teaches. I just really, for my own self, I just wanted to really understand. And I'll be honest, I was a little bit nervous about what I would find out. I'm a very logical person, and I was concerned that I might learn some things that might make me question my belief in a creator. And ironically, what I found was it actually strengthened my faith. I learned that both sides are really looking at the same evidence. We just are interpreting it a little bit differently, and it's based on our worldview. And I just would like to share a few of my top reasons why I believe science points to a creator. And to start out, there really are just two basic theories out there of how the universe was created. Either something had to have created the universe, something or someone, or the earth created itself without any direction, and it would be more randomly by chance. So my first evidence for a creator would be just the overwhelming order and design that we see in our universe. On a grand scale, from how orderly all the planets and the orbits of all things, they're very predictable, to how fine-tuned the solar system is just to be able to have life be present on Earth. And then you can go to a small scale and look at small things, insects that are just incredibly designed, patterns on flowers, on leaves, on snowflakes. Just the other night, I was looking at our dog Daisy, and just looking at your dog's whiskers, and you look and you can see it's almost like someone very meticulously stitched those on. And wherever you have design, there's always a designer. It always could be traced back. Whether it's a stick person to the faces on Mount Rushmore, there is always a designer associated with design. And I believe that designer is God, the creator. It says in Psalm 19 that the heavens declare the glory of God and the skies proclaim his handiwork. Now, my second piece of evidence for a creator is just the impossibility of life being able to create itself. And that's based on the law of biogenesis, which states you can only get life from life. And the basic building block of life is the cell. And when Charles Darwin wrote Origin of Species, they knew about cells, but they had no idea how complicated cells are. They're like their own little cities. There are different organelles, and one organelle in a plant cell, the chloroplast, where photosynthesis takes place, has to undergo 70 different complex chemical reactions just to work. They are extremely complicated. People have been trying to create cells in a lab, but they've never been successful. They have even started out with all the chemicals we know that are in a cell, and even when you start out with it, they cannot put it together and make a functioning cell. So I think it is illogical to believe that mindless processes could create a cell in a chemical soup when brilliant scientists in sophisticated labs have not been able to do that. I believe life can only come from the life giver, which is God. And my third piece of evidence is the information that's found in DNA. There's DNA inside every living cell, and it is the code of life. It is the language of life. It contains very detailed instructions for how everything works and is made. Where did that information come from? Bill Gates compared DNA to a computer software program that's more complex than any that's ever been designed. And there's a lot of intelligence that goes into making a computer software program. They say that the human genome contains enough information to fill up 5,000 books. And that is design and information always can get traced back to intelligence. It's a message. I like to think of DNA as God's signature inside every living thing. And there's so much more than just those three, and I would encourage you to love God with your mind. He wants us to learn about His creation and research it for yourself. There's so much out there. And I want to leave you with a quote from astronaut John Glenn. And he was the first American to orbit the Earth in space. And later on in his life, he was 77, he got to go up in the space shuttle. And this is what he said when he looked out the window. He said, "To look out at all this kind of creation and not believe in God, to me, is impossible." And I would agree. Thank you.